The digital dexterity, it's not knowing machine learning or artificial intelligence or coding, but it's knowing how to be a strategist, how to be an innovator, how to be a driver. How do you manage this with agility? Just because you're going down one track doing a certain systems implementation doesn't mean you cannot maneuver away from it. There are new technologies coming into play. Any thoughts on our leadership becoming digital dexterity experts? Is that unlearning and learning possible?
Unlearning will play a bigger role because agility comes from end-to-end digitization. And I'm talking of business agility. Business will be responsive and agile to competition, to regulation, to consumer changing habits, to everything outside in the environment, only if it is fully digital. Not in parts, but in whole. And only leadership can drive it, can invest into it, and also support it whenever there is a problem. For example, recently in a large bank there was a digital problem, and the management really looked at it very seriously and made some changes and has decided on bigger investment. So I'm saying management cannot be defensive about it, has to be very positive, constructive and futuristic about it. Because frankly, the flexibility of future resilience, of being resilient in future, will come from digitization.
Can you think of an example of a leader who has driven digital in the way you and I have spoken about it, let's say over the last couple of years or more recently? What did that leader do differently?
Many examples. For example, there's an eye care company, and there's a grocery company, there is a ride-sharing company. I mean, there's so many companies where the CEOs themselves have led the digitization, invested massively, over-invested to some extent, so that the customer experience can be far superior, the routine load which fatigues employees can be reduced, so that the data of the company is very accurate, precise, up to date, up to the minute you speak. So many benefits are being seen. I meet CEOs and entrepreneurs who have led this with great amount of courage, great amount of bold attitude. So luckily we have a lot of them. And I hope this spreads into many more traditional businesses, because traditional businesses can bounce back only if they do this.
And we like to say digital and business is becoming one, right? If you think about the pizza companies of the world, and like you said, it's no longer a commodity. It's the service you're delivering to the customer and how that digital becomes part. It's no longer a digital strategy or a business strategy. It's one.
Yeah. For example, food delivery companies, whether it's US or India or Europe, I mean, they are able to present to you, to the customer, hundreds of options for what kind of food they want. And I'm amazed the variety of food you can order. And I'm amazed how fast it reaches you. And I'm amazed how fresh it reaches you, how heated, warm it is when it reaches you. So, I mean, this is all technology, all digital technology.
The leadership, what do they need to do to enable this digitalization?
No, I think getting people on board is the most important job of CEO. Because if CEO doesn't get everyone, that entire team on board, especially the senior team, then there will be internal roadblocks and he or she cannot meet the targets of digitization and growth and scale up.